You guys are privileged. This is the first and only black and white showing of Red Riding. Yeah, there was clearly an issue with the projector and the DCP, as I'm sure you're aware. But if you watch it on Prime or check a trailer,
Apple TV,
you can see how it's supposed to look. But
yeah, so it's apologies.
This was jaundice riding.
So yeah, I'm gonna sort of get this started. I'm gonna start it off by just recapping on everything that went down this evening. So we've had some short films that were played earlier, which were Team Beard films. We had Knock Knock, Teeth, and then Andy Winward. What's the name of your film? Lambton. That's the one. I keep thinking Lambeth, for whatever reason. And then we had the Diane Richard tapes, which was by Jacqueline Phillips. Apologies if I said your name incorrectly there. We have the raffles, which the beautiful Al will bring all of the prizes through here in a little bit, just before the end of the Q&A, so I can give you guys all your prizes and stuff. And then for those of you that did miss the screening, whether that's for those of you online or those of you that want to see it in full color, you can get it on Apple TV. I know, right?
they want it black and white now.
It was a creative decision, everybody. It's just not from the filmmakers themselves. So first and foremost, I'm going to start it off. Dan, as you answered, you got your microphone, pass it along. So if you could just introduce yourself, your role within the film, and then pass on, and we'll go through each one of you guys.
Yeah, sure.
It's alive.
Hi, my name's Daniel Patrick Vaughn, owner of House 54, producer of this film, and on this film also cinematographer, and more traditionally that's kind of what I'm known as, and this was kind of a second foray into feature film production. So yeah, that's me.
Perfect.
Hello. Craig Conway. Predominantly an actor for 30 odd years. And now, directorial debut. And yeah, I'll pass it on.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm an actor. Have been for quite a few years. Yeah, far too many to mention. And played the social worker in this magnificent piece of work.
Mm-hmm. Hiya, I'm Jacqueline Phillips, actor for a long time, and played Miss Grey. Is that right? Yes.
I think so. Miss Graves.
This is the first time I've seen it as well, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm going to watch it in colour. I'd like to see it on a big screen as well, but I think it was really powerful. I loved it, and I thought all the performance. I thought you were great. Scary. Yes. So.
Hello, Ian Whyte. I want to say I'm the scary guy. A scary guy. I don't think I'm even close to being the most terrifying thing in this film. Lindsay Beauchamp in my film.
For the enjoyment of one and all, please refrain from using your telephones during the show. Or we will be forced to kill you and your entire family.
What have you done?
Remember, please turn off your telephone back in time. Enjoy the show.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you. They still the volume. Yeah, they're gonna.
I like that. That's pretty surreal and weird.
Yeah, I was not expecting that myself.
Yeah.
So I imagine we're probably gonna get an intro here in a second as well. So, continue, Ian.
I forgot what I was going to say. I'm going to get out a T-shirt. A cow with thanks.
Yeah.
Yes. This is a really powerful way to see the film. I mean, normally when you choose a seat in the cinema, you're sitting back there somewhere. Down here. I can have Lindsay Beauchamp looking down at you. I felt like a child.
It's not very often you get to feel small, is it?
Have the furry amplifier.
The furry thing.
There we go.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate the furry thing.
The furry was.
So yeah, so now I'm going to go into the questions. I'm going to ask a few questions myself, and then I'll open it up to you guys to ask away. So my first question for you, Craig, is, and I'll give you the microphone there as well. So with this being your directorial debut feature, what were some of the essential barriers that you faced that you weren't expecting?
Well, I think the biggest barrier anybody faces when you're asked to kind of be in that position is your own self-worth.
Mm.
You know, it's terrifying. Everybody wants to make, or, you know, in our industry, everybody wants to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be in a position to have an identity, say, look, I've got a voice. I want to kind of put that out there. I want to be able to speak the way I see, and you read a script like Red, and, you know, Daniel and I worked on the script a lot for a long time, and with Peter Stiliano, like, you know, he's an incredible writer and a director in his own right, and we were changing a lot of things that he'd put on the paper and on the page. But for me, I've been an actor for 35 years, and I never really knew if I was worthy enough to even be an actor. So to be a director that's a real privilege, but it's also bloody terrifying to actually stand in your own kind of self-worth and say, can I do this? Can I actually lead other people to tell a story the way you think you want to? And obviously Dan was the producer and cinematographer, so it's not just about my story. It's about the fact that I've got to work what I want to do with the actors to what the producer and the cinematographer want to do. So it's not one story, is it?
You did. You should never feel like insecure or looking for your worth. And that the reason why you were brought in was because of your skills and talent as an actor originally. And you know, what are we looking at? We're looking at actors and the ability to communicate on that level. Yeah, so that and you smashed it. So yeah, don't worry about that.
No, but yeah. Oh, well, that was nice. But yeah, but self-worth is a big thing. Everything we do in our industry is vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're an actor, if you're a runner, if you're a cinematographer, if you're a director, if you're a producer, everybody is speculating on how good are you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's a very vulnerable place to be, and but it's also really exhilarating and really exciting.
Perfect. Thank you, Craig. And for you, Dan, in terms of operating on a limited budget, so what were some of the challenges that you had faced, and how did you overcome them? And we're talking primarily budget here, because this is a lot of what we do for like the 48-hour film challenges, giving limitations and then having people do them limitations. But you've done it now with a feature film. So how was that for you? What kind of challenges and...
Yeah, I mean, on a budget like that, to produce anything that could be considered as cinema, it's all a challenge, and it starts being able to combat that. It's all about the people that you put around yourself. They need to be ready for war, and they need to be of a certain type, you know. And there's not many people out there that have that sort of indie spirit in them and are ready to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has their different reasons. So yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people, it starts there. And then I would say that the second thing that was sort of vital to turning this film out was securing a location like that for a good deal. So we had an idea and a story, and it was going to play out a certain way. Then I managed to secure this property, which you see, you know, the house in Scotland, and then we pretty much done a rewrite to fit within that environment. and we managed to house all the crew in and around that as well. So yeah, just getting a location that can kind of offer you something more than I mean, I was ringing around some places to get something similar like this. They were turning around and saying for sort of 4 to 5 nights, you're looking at about 25 to 30 grand. So yeah, finding the right people and the right locations sort of gives you the best chance of doing something, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And the next one's for you, Ian, actually. Pass the mic down to him. So, Ian, with your... Oh, God. Goodness gracious. Please be careful. He's only just getting born. So,
Don't worry.
with your experience, Ian, you've had experience in a lot of bigger productions. You were in Alien versus Predator, if I'm not mistaken, and then you were also in Game of Thrones. So how do you find it working on these sort of bigger productions and then coming back onto independent films and working with independent films? Specifically this team, how has that sort of been for you, and how's that been your experience?
I have one simple rule: leave the ego at home. No one cares. No one cares how many films you've worked on or anything like that. You come in and make friends and do your best work collaboratively, and that's all that matters, really. Because that's all that matters.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. I do really well said, actually. Thank you. And so then, do you find that so basically what you're getting at there is it doesn't matter what project you're on, you put your best in no matter what.
Yes, absolutely.
So how was it working with this team then? Was this a great team to work with?
It was fantastic. It was the most fun I've ever had.
No,
it was brilliant. It doesn't matter what the size of the budget. Small budgets equal big fun.
Yeah.
It was fantastic with a fantastic location, a fantastic crew, great cast. It was eye-wateringly beautiful. When I arrived up in
Nan.
in
Nan.
the Highlands. There was, it's on the film. This beautiful gorge with the river running through it and the rapids, and there was this pathway that sort of snaked down through the gorge, and it was just eye-wateringly beautiful. And I used to almost daily, to get into Thomas's head, I used to just wander off into the woods and hug a tree. Be alone in the woods and
Chain up some kids.
I'm out hugging trees anyways, and I'm not getting in the head of Thomas, so yeah, I got you there. No, that's perfect. Thank you very much, Ian. The next question is for you, Jackie.
Oh.
Get the mouse.
Yeah, nice and gentle. There you go. So, how did you find your experience on this production, and was there anything that took you by surprise?
I love the atmosphere as soon as you walked into where we were filming. Craig has this ability to just make everybody feel very, very welcome. And the whole crew, actually, Dan as well. And Victoria was lovely. And the girls who did the beautiful dancing, they were great. And you can tell, I think, when you get on set with a group of people that you're there to do the best you possibly can in the situation. So it was an absolute joy. It was only short. I didn't get to the Highlands, and I love Nairn. But so it was a lovely thing to do.
Excellent.
And I hadn't for a while, so it was nice to come back to that situation.
Fantastic.
So it was lovely. It was lovely.
Thank you, Jackie. And then the same question for you, Sharon.
Oh, what was the question?
The question was, do you remember the question?
Funny enough, no, I don't remember.
Will you turn my alarm off, please? It's time for me to take my tablet, everybody. That's exactly what that is. That's tablet time. Woo, we're going crazy, guys. Going. I don't know. We're about to find out. So the question for you, Sharon, is the same one. Yeah. How did you find your experience on this production, and was there anything specifically that stood out to you that you enjoyed?
So my experience was absolutely fantastic. Yes, it was like Jackie's, just a short experience. But that doesn't mean to say it wasn't a magical experience. Turning up to a really dodgy housing estate was quite an experience, I have to give you that. And I think, obviously, in this film, they've tried to find real authenticity in the places where the shot to capture the mood and things like that. And we certainly did on that housing estate, that's for sure. I was absolutely...
The screams are real.
Yeah.
They really are.
I was absolutely bricking it when I got there. But, you know, it's like Craig rang me up and said, would you just come and do this? And I was like, yeah, of course. You know, it's like absolutely 1,000,000%. Didn't have to be asked twice. And it is about just kind of being invested in these smaller budget projects, because it's really important. You know, these things don't happen if good people don't get involved in the first place. So, yeah, just rocked up to a dodgy housing estate, did me little social workery bit, and then rocked out again. I think we were so comfortable and it worked really well that I think we just did it in 2 takes, you know, 1 take and 1 for safety, and it was just in and out. But, you know, that's credit to everybody in the team.
It was more for your safety.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Can I just say I grew up there? So, fair enough. It's a little bit rough, but it's all right.
No, man, we're still moving much. We turned out all right.
You've got a full row here.
Look how very
Keep an eye on you.
was. I'm taking it all back. Yeah, the buildings were dodgy, but the people are amazing. But no, it was fantastic, and it's. I've known Craig for a long time, for 35 years, and it was great to be part of his directorial debut and seeing him wearing a different hat instead of the actory side of things, and what a fantastic job he did it too. Yeah, so yeah, brilliant.
So this one's going to sort of bounce between the 4 of you. As this is for the director and actor side of things, I'm going to start off with you, Craig. So in terms of, I would like you to sort of delve a little bit, because we have some people that are in here that are aspiring filmmakers. We have some people that are actually making films, others that just like watching films. Really, if we could kind of delve a little bit into the relationship between the director and the actors, how important that is, and sometimes if there's any struggles that you might have come into specifically on this project, and how you overcome them, or any advice you may have to anybody else.
Okay.
And also no, but I'll add a little bit more to that question as well.
I mean, it's a heavy kind of loaded question, but you know, I've just done a short with Jacob. Where is he? Yeah, Jacob Stockton. So Jacob is an up and coming director, young director. He's done a couple of shorts. He worked on a film 28 years later, and I've been on this kind of journey for 35 years, and I've got to be honest. The biggest thing to overcome at every single juncture is that ego. You know, it really is, because it's you're telling stories about human beings. You're trying to portray it, and whether you dress it up in horror or drama or comedy or whatever, the genre is not important. What's important is the human beings behind telling that story. And Jacob, you know, I'm on a set with him. I kind of have stood away from acting lately so I could go behind the camera, pursue directing, pursue producing, pursue what I'm doing with the runway rooms, all of this. But I witnessed a young director putting all of his passion into trying to make me feel comfortable in that arena. And that's all a director's job is, really, is not, and it's same for a producer, same for a writer, same for a director, all of it. Our job is not to tell people what to do. Our job is to create surroundings, an atmosphere, and conditions that the actors who are telling the story can feel so comfortable that whatever they do, you're going to get something out of them. Like, you don't lead anything. It's an ensemble at every point. And anybody who thinks at any point in their kind of career that somehow they're in control of all of these people around them, they're really sadly mistaken. You don't get anywhere without opening yourself up, and you don't get anywhere without inviting everybody in order to direct it together. So a director is just it's a position or a title, but actually you don't do anything. All you do is create conditions, and then you let everybody bring their talents, and then you celebrate it. That's a really cool thing. And it's the same on stage, it's the same on screen, and that's what we need to keep encouraging. And the same within communities, you know, like Soulgrave. It's a rough place. but when you spend time in those areas with those people, if you can talk to somebody, your next door neighbor, or if you can say to somebody, I actually have a little bit of time to listen to your story, something really wonderful happens. So it's a community. A film is just a community coming together to do something in that moment. That's it. So yeah. And sorry for putting you on the spot, Jacob, but I'm very kind of blown away by being an actor for you when I was trying to give up acting, and then you brought me back in, which, like, oh, God damn you. Because then you get a little fire in your belly. But he was willing to let me fail.
Yeah.
And that's, I hope that all of us were willing to, I didn't say to Sharon, do this. Sharon has like a wealth of experience. Ian has a wealth of experience. Jackie has a wealth of experience. I don't know what to get out of them. But if I can create conditions where they trust me and I can trust them, then we're going to have fun. Yeah. And something exciting happens. Definitely. And then the cinematographer and the producer goes, oh my God, let's put it on camera. And then we all go, fucking hell, that's good. Let's put it on screen. That's it. And then let's play it black and white. Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. Anyway, I've rambled. I'll shut up.
That's cool. And do any of you have anything to add on to that?
Other than just what Craig has said is absolutely right. You know, you have to trust the process. You know, quite often you turn up on set and there's quite a few people that you're going to be doing a scene with, and you don't really know them. If you haven't had a rehearsal process, you are just turning up and doing your job on the day in most cases. And you do have to just trust yourself and trust the other people around you, because you're going to be doing this scene with them, you're going to be telling the story with them, and you just have to trust that they're as much of an expert as what you are. So it is a very organic process. You go in there, you kind of find the moves, you line everything up, you're doing the scene. Oh, let's not try that, let's try this, let's do it this way. So it is a process, and you don't go in there knowing exactly what you're going to do in the first take, and things change and you have to do something different. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys want to add something to that.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's a very organic process, I think.
The first time that Victoria and I met was the bedroom scene where I'm crawling up her torso. And Craig purposefully kept us apart and said, I want you apart because I want this to be the first time that you met. And have you ever seen that behind the scenes footage of Jack Nicholson in The Shining, where he's bouncing him down, he's psyching himself up, and he's getting the axe, and he's about to go full on, kind of a bit like that backstage. down the corridor, I'm jumping up down and trying to suck myself up. and I'm about to roll, and I'm standing outside the door, ready to go in. And somebody comes up to me with a tube of KY jelly. And says, "Put that in your mouth." What? Why? I said, "Because you're going to dribble it onto Victoria." I said, "Oh, yes, of course." Okay, so let's stuff it in my mouth. Okay, now I'm ready to go. And we do the scene. And I dribble the stuff out of my mouth. And it comes out in one massive lump. Straight into Victoria's mouth. Oh, that was the first time.
I think that's a good introduction.
Yes,
That's a stand-up line right there.
I was standing sheepishly in the corner of the room after she shouted cut, and I was just like,
That's great. That's fantastic. So I have one more final question from myself, and then I will open it up to the room. So final question for me is kind of a mixed one between you, Dan, and you, Craig. So we'll start off with you, Craig, and then I come to you. So
he likes you.
Yeah.
Calm down. Behave yourself.
Yeah.
So, how was it? Oh, settle down. How was it? You see, because it's not. It's from my experience, it's quite abnormal to have a cinematographer / producer. So the person that's in charge of the way the image is going to look, and the one that's in charge of orchestrating it all to make it actually come together, which is two very different hats. So we will come to you, Dan, and how you manage to work them two together. But as a director, how is it actually working with that person wearing the same hat? I know for short films it's one thing, but for a feature film, it's a whole nother ballgame, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, like, you know, I've directed a lot of theatre, I've done music videos, but I have never done a feature.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what is good about it is there are certain boundaries that you have to understand, you have to respect. So sometimes a director, like everybody thinks the director is the person in charge. And sometimes you are. Sometimes you have the say on what it is you want to do or how you want to tell your story. If you're a writer director, even different, like Neil Marshall, who was executing on this, like, you know, he will go, I am writing, directing my movie, I'm doing it this way, this is how it's going to be. But Dan was very clear to me from the beginning, which is, you know, he's producing this and he's the cinematographer. So ordinarily, my process as an actor is I would perform a scene and then the camera fits around that. But also there is a style to this. There is a very genuine thought about cohesive style to this. And Dan was very clear. I will, you know, I am setting up a shape to this, a feel to this. And we talked about Long Legs. It was a film that we both totally fell in love with, didn't we?
Yeah.
So all of these beautiful cinematic wide shots, it was like, right, this is the frame, this is what we're going to play with. So, and also we were on a very tight turnaround. Like, we did not have long to get this. Was it 22 days in total or 24 max? But
yeah, about that.
yeah. So we had to get those shots in every day, and we were shooting sometimes 10 to 15 pages. Like, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
You do like 2 or 3 pages a day when you're doing a movie. We're doing multiple like shoots and scenes and moving location, doing whatever. So Dan was extremely efficient at saying, well, we only have X, Y, Z to get. And if we don't get that, and then Dan was very clear saying, look, your job is to be with the actors, work with the actors, get the performance and get it where it needs to be. So as a director, yeah, that's my job. That's what you're given. You're here to direct those actors, get the performance. I will capture it. So, you know, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, you talk about hats. I think when you're on a limited budget and you've got a limited time, most people are wearing a few hats. And it's about who's the best person for the job and where their time can best be allocated. And me and Craig had agreed the style, the tone, the pacing. So between the pair of us, when we're on the battlefield, if things are slipping, if things start turning one way or going a different direction that we're not sure about, we knew what the plan was, and we can just go into the side, pull each other aside, and go, are we steering off here? Is this that? And we only had time to really nail the one tone. So it's like, let's go back in and correct it. And there was no debate really, because we'd made all the decisions beforehand. There was room for play, obviously, but we didn't have too much time for play.
It was tight.
And I also think that what makes a good film is like a cohesive tone across the whole thing. So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to produce and be a cinematographer, but when you've got limited funds, you've got to do what you've got to do, you know. You've got to do what you've got to do.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you. That's all the questions from me. So I will now go out to you guys. So you guys can ask your questions away. And what I'll do actually is I'm going to walk around with the microphone so that we can pick up the recording as well. So fire away to you guys. There you go, sir. Just hold on to it and talk. You're all right.
Okay.
Hello, mate.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Well, that was really good. I really enjoyed it, and so happy for you. Congrats for this directorial debut. Well, now that you've directed a feature and that you've been back to acting with Jake, have you thought about doing both directing and acting in the same feature? Out of curiosity, obviously not for the ego, but would you find fun? Do you think you would find fun in that, like combining both aspects, or what do you think about it?
As in directing and acting
Yes.
in the same picture,
Same.
I would find no fun in that. No, not even a smite. No, look, at the moment, the runway rooms. What I want to do is help other people tell their stories. You know, obviously, I've got personal projects that I want to tell and stories that I want to pursue, but ultimately, my job now is to help other people to tell their stories, and that's for a lot of reasons. You know, you get to a point where you like, I've done a lot of things, and that, I'm not saying like I've done everything, so therefore, what I mean by that is I've set out to do everything I said I would do, and all I know now is that in the independent sector, there's not a lot of support. So my whole remit, my whole focus is helping independent creatives, whether they be actors, writers, directors, crew members, to get work, to pursue that work, but also retain some of that IP, because a lot of times we give ourselves away to everybody. We spend a lot of time being something for somebody else or to try and fit a system that doesn't reward us. So that's why I set up the runway rooms, to support other independent creatives. And that is literally my whole focus now. Director, actor, I don't care. I'll do that whenever it comes up. But ultimately, I want to help independent creatives to actually pursue a career and have a career. So there you go.
I really like the way you support Jacob as well. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Goes through first.
Supporting for each other.
Again, just to echo what everyone else has said, congratulations on the film. I think it's marvellous. But one of the things that I take a lot of comfort from is a lot of people in this room will see a lot of the people who they know from this region on that screen. And I think that's really important. How big of a factor, this is for both of you guys, how big of a factor was it selecting people from the region for this film for both of you? Is that a consideration beforehand, or as Dan said, cost a few and far between? Is it a matter of necessity, or I guess what I'm getting at is, was it a conscious choice to make this with Northeast talent as a matter of priority?
Yeah, well, I mean, for when we shot in the Northeast, it made sense to cast people in the Northeast. There's so much good talent here, and luckily Craig connected with all of this talent, so it was really easy to onboard people onto the project. Similarly, when we went up to Scotland, we found some fantastic actors up there. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I mean, every region has its talents, and you know, there's well, I've got to thank Andrea as well. Andrea's agency provided us with a lot of talent from Scotland and the Northeast.
Thank you, Asians.
and that's pretty much, yeah. I mean, we looked where we were shooting, we looked who was around, and we found people that were like, yeah, we can see those in those parts, right? So
yeah. And I think also you got to remember, like there is, it doesn't matter what budget level you're on, there's always an element of packaging that you're trying to do, because ultimately there is a commercial arena that you want people to kind of, you know, acknowledge what you've made. So like Robert Cavanaugh, Jack McAvoy, Ian, Sharon, Jackie, like all these people, like I've worked with for 30 odd years plus, like, so I've known a lot of them. And then even Neil Marshall, you know, he's a northerner, so for me Northeast is everything. But having somebody like Neil put his name to a project like this, if we just shot it and just went, oh well, we're just going to shoot a movie over here, and you know, we got a low budget, we're going to shoot a movie, certain people wouldn't even look at it. That's just fact. It's not because we're not good enough. It's because there is a system in place that doesn't allow you just to tell a story with some people you've known for years. You have to have certain elements to it. You know, Sharon's got a CV as big as, like, you know, our arm. It's like, it's constant. It's like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's worked in theatre and film and television, and people forget how good this region is when it comes to real solid bloody talent. Like, we are incredible up here. The only problem is there is packaging behind it. There is distribution models that don't allow us to get in there. So films like this are an opportunity, you know. So Dan was very open to, oh, who can we get? Who can we bring in? And then Victoria, I mean, there was so many people audition for Red, and they just were, and Victoria came on and just did something behind their eyes that I have never seen before. She was incredible, wasn't she? Like, she just stood out. And so you go, well, then we have to bring that person here. And that's not because we couldn't have found a Red here. It's just the fact that sometimes you have to go wider, your scope has to be bigger. But ultimately, the Northeast is everything for this. Like, it always has been and always will be. The Northeast is, it's an incredibly fucking talented area. Pardon me, French.
yeah, and I think Victoria was a difficult one to cast for as well.
Yeah.
Because we needed somebody who felt young, but could also bring a lot of the trauma that is seen in that film. And a lot of the younger people, they were fantastic, but it's hard to tap into that kind of thing. I mean, I'm speaking for the actors here, and I think you'll agree that what she delivered there was just
absolutely stunning.
She and she didn't get a day off. I mean, a lot of us didn't get a day off, but she was on every single day in character. And I know you had to have a few pep talks with her and keep her up quite a lot, didn't you? Because it's a hard journey. It's a hard journey, especially as a first lead role in a film.
Yeah.
And I hope this does good for her. I would expect this to do good for her career.
So do I, because Andrea's our manager. So like, who cares if she's good? I'm joking.
And so we have another question. If you want to go and start the next question.
Hello. So yeah, obviously it's Little Red Riding Hood. It's like one of the most well-known stories literally ever. I know for me, using like pre-known stories and things like that is like a very 50-50 thing. It's been done so many times. The amount of people that I speak to that are like, I am sick of Cinderella. like there's so many new versions, horror versions, musical versions, silent films. Like there's too many versions of too many films. Do you think that this film was able to be something familiar but like not too familiar? And like where do you as actors, as producers, as literally as everything, how do you think it like scratched those points, but also looking back at like the full project, where would you like want to push it further if you had like, let's say, like the budget for it or like more things like that?
I mean, for me, it was a social drama. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really. I wasn't too fussed about the horror side of it. It's not, the horror is about how humans are. Humans are horrific. We're quite terrifying. So all I wanted to do was try and give an opportunity to see how that family line, bloodline, how families can go really dark and twisted, and also on a societal level, how people can manipulate and control in order to tell the story they want to tell. And that's happening all around us continuously at the moment. So I wanted to kind of feed into those themes. But ultimately, there's a job to do. And that is, we want to sell a film that's got horror lines to it. So to me, it's a drama with elevated horror moments. And like you say, it kind of is what it is. But if I was able to tell that story again in the way where I go, would I want to go down the fairy tale side? Absolutely not. The fairy tale is not interesting. What's interesting is human story. You know what I mean? And but there's a sales side to it. People at the moment want to see, Winnie the Pooh and all this kind of stuff, and let's dress it up as something it's not. It's not interesting. I don't really care about Winnie the Pooh killing people. What I care about is human beings and how we interact with each other. If I want to go kill a bear in the woods, I'll go kill a bear in the woods. Easy. But that's what we want is stories. We want human stories because they're exciting.
Yeah.
Human beings are bloody exciting things, and we're twisted and we're dark. So we don't need to dress them up in anything, to be honest. You don't need a genre. You just need to tell a story. Thank you.
But it is a very good question, and goes back to the conception of the project. It was off the back of some of the financial success of some of these sort of fairy tale IPs and things. I know there's a lot of independent filmmakers in the room here, and from one to another, the scariest thing is kind of putting your money into something and not knowing if you're going to get it back. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you always need to be thinking about how you get that money back. What is the one or two thing that when somebody's looking through on a slider on Netflix or whatever, why are they going to pick your movie? Do we have Brad Pitt? No, they're not going to watch it for that. There's a lot of stories out there being told, a lot of films getting produced. And I think as filmmakers, we always have to think about what that little thing is. And it just gave us a little bit of a chance for people to take notice. And on the back of it is as Craig says, it's a film about people. It's not actually about that. It's more of a wolf in sheep's clothing, for lack of a better phrase. But it kind of worked, we got a deal with Vertical Entertainment. So it's currently being distributed across Canada, North America. It's just been bought for Southeast Asia and Thailand. And it made the front page of Apple TV on a slider. And I say that to a lot of filmmakers when they're making something, if they're going to put their own sort of hard-earned cash into something, I would say to them, what is the thing that's going to sell your film? If you don't have something in that film that can make you stand out amongst all the noise, then you probably need to go back to the drawing board, because I see a lot of people lose their money. I might be one of them. I'll tell you after the first quarterly report. But yeah, so that's kind of why the theme is there. But yeah, it is a story about people.
Excellent, thank you. We're gonna have enough time for a couple more questions, and then we have to do a.
Sorry, I think Ian wanted to say
sorry,
something.
I don't know. I wanted to share some of my
Have a furry mic.
Oh, that's the furry mic. Hello. Would it spoil anything if I share my preparation?
No.
I mean, it was a lot. My approach to this movie was darker. Oh, much darker. Oh my God, yeah. Thomas isn't just Red's father. He's a grandfather and uncle as well.
Mm-hmm.
He raped and murdered his mother, her mother, and her grandmother. And yeah, he wants to be a dad, which is why he's chaining little boys to a tree. And we did actually shoot a scene where he was force feeding Charlie. Force feeding Charlie, fattening him up so we can eat him as well. Because he wants to be loved. And the only love he can find is the love he finds within the forest, in Mother Nature. So every time he consumes flesh, living tissue, etc., brings him one step closer to the love that he so dearly craves. Why do we make that fit?
Yeah. That would have been a fun night out.
I'm frightened.
Who's this guy?
There we go.
Excuse me.
Not really a question, just a well done and congratulations. Absolutely, the film was amazing. It was a very, very original take on a very familiar story. And again, just to the same, look to see so many like northeast faces from where it should be. Yeah, just wish you all the best of luck with it. Hope it wins lots of awards and gets to all over the world.
Oh,
thank you.
It's really nice. Thank you.
Any more questions? Going once? Oh, do you have one over there? Al?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, we'll come back to you though, still.
I want to know more. This is it, because you're all fab actors and you've all got your own playfulness. I can see that when you're even just playing with the fluffy mic and things. So how was it, like off camera and things, like building and those bonds and those? Like, how was it? Like Dan had said before tonight that Craig, you're really good at talking to each of the actors and like getting them set for what they needed to do. So I just want to hear more experiences. What was it like? Yeah, and any little stories?
There were a few nights where I had to go and stare at a wall. But Craig is an incredible storyteller, and it was an absolute joy. And like he said earlier on, the job of the director is to ultimately to make sure that the actors can feel comfortable to lose themselves in the storytelling, and that's what happened.
That's nice.
Yeah. There's something that happens when you're working with somebody that has left their ego at the door, and it's a genuine connection, human connection, and we're telling human stories, and it's exactly as you say. You've got to be vulnerable. You've got to be interested. You want to be there. So it's lovely when you meet people where you feel trusted. And so I think that definitely came over in this experience. And I think it's exactly what Craig was talking about. It's a collaborative endeavour. Everybody has their unique ability and when it comes together, it's an extraordinary thing. And I think it's all about creating that environment for people it's alchemy, isn't it? To make bigger than the individuals, what comes out of it. It's magical. And it happens in filmmaking, in theatre, in all the live arts as well. But there's something quite magical about film because it gets recorded, that moment. And it's there to go back to as well. So it's quite an extraordinary medium in that sense. But it's about that. It's about being totally comfortable and in the moment, which is the the wonderful thing to be as a human being in the moment. Everything is about being in that moment, to lose yourself in that moment, and you've got to have the right environment for it. So it's very much that.
I remember looking at you after the first take. I mean, I know in the audition we saw you, Jackie, and we were like, she's fucking amazing. We want her. And you came along and you delivered that on the day. And what you brought to that character was like more than anything on the pages. It was the amount of people that have come to me and said, what's going on with Miss Graves? I want to know more about her. You know,
Graves,
there's a spin-off there somewhere. But I guess that was you being comfortable in your space. And
well, this is it. I think every actor brings that in a situation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that is what you've got to create in order for those unique things for each individual to flourish, I think. Yeah.
You've also got to be able to snap out of it and have a laugh as
Yes.
well.
Oh, yeah,
which,
yeah.
you know, I think is what you were asking as well, that you have all of this serious, heavy stuff on camera and you've got to be in that moment, like Jackie said. But outside of that, you've got to be able to have a laugh and you've got to be relaxed and comfortable and joke on with everybody, because when you're back in your role in that space, doing that in that moment, you have to focus, but you've got to be able to break out of that as well. So those relationships off camera are just as important as they are on camera as well. So, yeah.
All right. Right, thank you very much. I am going to have to call an end to the Q&A there, unfortunately, because we are running out of time. So, one last big thank you to you guys for coming down, giving a Q&A. If we can give them a round of applause. Right.